Conferência de imprensa com Taro Daniel, apurado para a segunda ronda do Braga Open. Taro, tough opening match. How did you feel on court?
Yeah, it was quite windy today, so there were a lot of moments where I was a little bit uncomfortable trying to attack. But I think it was generally a pretty good match, very tough, a lot of long points. The conditions are very slow here, so it's very difficult to dominate from the baseline. So there are a lot of long points, and you have to just be really patient. And I think he got really tired in the third set, so that was really good that I stayed patient and just kept going. In the third set, I was able to dominate and finish feeling good.
Are you happy that you played 3 sets? I mean, of course, you want to win as soon as possible, but in the other hand, it gives you more time on court. Do you like it? Do you think it's an advantage to the next?
Yeah, I mean, even if it was 3 sets, it wasn't too tiring. So if it was like 7-5, 7-5, 7-6, then I would prefer to have less time. But this, I don't think it's gonna take away too much energy from me for the next round. So I think I'll be physically totally fine. But yeah, I maybe make some adjustments for the next match and how to approach it tactically, maybe. Yeah.
So you once again in Portugal after a voyage. I think you're gonna play next week too in Lisbon.
Yeah.
Why do you come here, and what do you think so far about the club and the city?
Yeah, well, I mean, since I lived in Spain for so long, it was always very close to play junior tournaments here in Vila del Conde, and then futures, and then I won the futures here in Porto one time. And then it's very easy to come here, and also really nice. The food's good, and the food is good. It's cheap. All the reasons why the tourists like to come here. And it's just the conditions also. They're all normally clay courts, outside clay courts, similar to what I like. So playing wise, also off court, it's good. I have a couple friends here as well. And Braga, I came here like maybe 8-9 years ago. Yeah, really nice city. I've heard.
Future?
Oh no, I was just here for fun. But I heard that it's a city with the most churches, right? Per habitant or something. A lot of churches.
Nice.
Really nice.
I guess it's easier for you to play 2 tournaments in the same country, especially in this place. Right now.
Exactly. Yeah, especially now with COVID, it's such a pain in the ass to travel. And here, from Braga to Lisbon, I mean, you can just get a car or a train or one really easy flight. So it's so much easier when they have 2 tournaments in the same country. Because many times when you're playing ATPs, this year in the beginning I did some crazy trips, from Australia, Singapore, Kazakhstan, and those things, they really destroy you. So these swings are really nice.
And you are the second seed. I think you're going to be the second seed next week as well. Do you have any goals to these 2 weeks? What do you think? You are close to the top 100. I think maybe it's a goal for you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I definitely want to get back in there, but I think right now I have a lot of different, more personal goals, like more mental stuff, and then also just tactically some things that I'm working on. And also, I haven't won too many matches in the last few weeks. It was really great to have this win today, because it's been a while since, I stopped a little bit after Olympics, and then, the US swing, they didn't have too many preparation tournaments, so they only had the Cincinnati, and I didn't get to play any matches before New York. So it's good, really good to get back into winning, and then also just start to compete again and feel the matches. I think that's the most important, and obviously I'm doing my best to win and try and get my ranking up higher. But there are other things that are higher up in the priority now. But definitely that's one of the goals that I would want to achieve.
I know you were in New York, but how it was for you to play the Olympics in Japan?
Yeah, it was great. It was so much I had to do to make the cut for that. because I was number 5 in the country. And then, with this COVID protected ranking, it was so difficult to pass the other 2 guys, Sugita and Uchiyama, in the ranking. So I thought I played an unbelievable clay season in April and May. Played a lot of tournaments, won a lot of matches, but that also took a lot out of me. That's why after Olympics, I was like, a lot of traveling and a lot of matches, and a lot of things happened off court as well in my life. So it was one moment to just stop a little bit. It has been a little bit more difficult to get back into the group the last few weeks, but it's really good to be here again and win a match today. It was good relief.
When we talked in Wales, you were still with Sven. Now you changed. What's your situation? Tell us a little bit about that. Sorry.
Yeah, well, we finished right before Olympics. I think one of our goals was to make Olympics. But then also I think I'm an adult. I'm 28 years old, so the way to practice, how to find what makes me happy, I need to start finding it more on my own. And there are a lot of things I cannot, say right now about, but it was all for good reasons that we split up, and we're in really good. We have a really good relationship with him right now. We still talk quite a bit. But yeah, so right now I don't really have a personal coach. I mean, the lady who's with me here, she works for Friendly Eyes. It's a mental, self-awareness program. But she also used to play tennis. She knows a lot about tennis, so she can give me some tips about some things on court, but mostly working on my mental side. Because it's such a thing that I've neglected for so long in my life. So now I'm 28 and, trying to make some difference there.
Just one question. You're gonna play Roy Naz or Sid Suberth in the second round. Do you have any preference on your opponent? Do you think that your game style can suit better against one of them?
Obviously Robin is a very dangerous player. He was top 50, so he was, and I know him quite a bit because we practice together sometimes when I go to the Netherlands. And so but preference, not really. I'll try and do my best to prepare for either one. I think Sid is a very solid. It's going to be a similar match to today where there's going to be a lot of long points. And then with Hasse, it's going to be more like he's going to be trying to do a lot of tricky stuff. So it'll be a very different match. So it'll be prepared very differently. But no preference. I think everybody's playing at a very high level. So either way, I have to be very sharp.
About the mental, sorry to go back a little. About the mental, it's like a trend topic nowadays, especially on the women's side. For example, Riga Swiatek. What do you think are the benefits, the advantages for you to have a mental coach with you?
Well, my experience is that I grew up in Japan. In Japan, when you're a kid, it's a very strict environment. When you're in school, you work very hard and there's a lot of discipline, which is great. But then at the same time, there's a lot of the adults are always getting mad at you if you make a mistake So when you become an adult, you get mad at yourself for making a mistake. So for me, losing a match, I'm like, oh, you're stupid for losing, you're stupid for missing that forehand, and you start talking like this to yourself. And that's it works until one point because your strength to endure difficulties is so strong. But in order to go beyond a certain level, some people have limits at the 300, some people have limits at the 100, at 50, 10. But I think the next level of when sports will take a next level is through the mental side, I think, because now everybody's maximizing the physical and the technical, but with the mental, they'll take that even further, I think.
Yeah. And what do you think your limits which are your limits to your career?
I don't think there is one, you know. I think that's what I've been recognizing. I have to recognize how good of a player I am. I've been always